This should be working. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Hi, guys. We're gonna work on some Mordheim today. I'm just letting people know that I am streaming, um, so that they can tune in. I've got all our guys, primed, so that's exciting. Um, and I think I'm gonna try doing more of a limited color palette than I would usually do. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm just letting the good folks of my Discord server and a few others know that I'm live. We're going for it. I was intending to start a bit earlier, but I got sucked in by my own vices to playing the Animal Crossing update. So that took some time. I love Animal Crossing. It's one of my favorites. So I was happy that they had an update and just yeah, that stole some of my time from me. But that's fine. I enjoyed it. And now I still get to paint. And that's really all that matters. On weekends, I have a long weekend because it's Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so I get that day off, which is great. Um, always always nice to have a long weekend, and I don't get them too often. But now we've got some time. Hello, Josh. You're making a cat tree? That sounds fun. You're first. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. All right. So, we've got our guys and they're primed. I really like how they turned out. The only one that isn't primed is this one because I haven't figured out how to do all the masking and I didn't want to fuss with that this morning. But we've got all sorts and he looks good. You've got this guy with the silly face. He looks pretty good. We've got some of these little strange familiars that I can just drop. It's fine. They look extremely fun to paint, not gonna lie. We've got our frog guy. He's sitting on top of a pie. Tiny goblin man guarding what looks to be empanadas, but I'm sure they're like not empanadas. Oh, I guess I missed some of the back of it. It's fine. No one cares. This guy on the fish. He looks pretty cool. I'm excited to paint him. And then little turnip guy with a snail on his head. Who just looks he's just the cutest little guy. So that's what we have to work with. Yeah, Realm with the Lich King is right. Let's fucking go. Oh, sick. There's a cat watching this stream. And hello to Plasma Death Jester, who is also a friend of the channel. You've tuned in quite a lot. So thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I feel like we should start with a classic because this is the guy that I'm known for. You can see a ton of color variations for him in the background, and I don't think today should be any exception. I thought it would be kind of fun to try and paint with like the Zorn palette thing, which is just like traditional Mordheim colors, which would be like a dark brown, I don't know if there's any paint that isn't dry in here, but like a dark red. I don't think I have like an Averland Sunset kind of yellow. But we could mix like a yellow and a reddish orange together and get that. And then like a white would be a black and a white would be pretty much it. And that would be our color palette. That was one idea that I had. We'll probably make a poll. Your opinions will be heard. Whether or not they'll affect things, I don't know. Um, I want you to have a choice, but I want my models to look good more than that. Because the other thought was like, instead of doing like kind of the red orangey, was to stick with this and then go for like a kind of like fishy color palette and do like some greens and some teals and blues and then maybe like a red orange, like something like this, which would still like sort of have a limited color palette feel. I've been watching a lot of Jamie Daggers' streams, and all for the most part, the ones I've caught are like 4 colors, color palettes. So it's 4 colors plus black and white. So if we got rid of that one, we could try it. We could try something new. We could do a 4-color palette plus black and white and see if we like it. And that's kind of exciting and different and a little scary. So we should try it probably. Do I have water? Yeah, there's water in that pink cup. And water for me to hydrate with. So I think maybe we go with this and we see where it takes us, and it's only paint, and if I hate it, I can do it over. And those are all important things to keep in mind. For me, a person who panics about every choice that they make. But we'll mix stuff together, which again I also don't usually do. I'm usually just a straight from the pot kind of person. But we're gonna see where this gets us. Mordheim's about being kind of gross anyway, right? Like it's a pretty gnarly setting. They don't have a lot of good things going in the city of Mordheim, so we can reflect that by me not using 6,000 colors. Hello! Welcome! Ifpron? Is that how I should pronounce that username? I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome. Happy to have you. You love being gross both in painting and in person. Okay, and then we'll get some of this brine oxide. Can we get it to pour out? That would be nice. I don't think we can. I don't think I have enough in here for it to pour. That's one of the flaws amongst, I'm sure, many flaws of the GW paint pot designs, is it's not easy to pour one out for the boys or lads or gals or non-binies, for the folks. Do a chicken night color palette. Listen, you've asked for a chicken night for forever. I do have a model that is a knight and also a chicken. And maybe one day we'll see it happen, but I don't think that day is today. Because right now I want to paint the scaled armor, this kind of gross gray-brown color. I ended up with a vaguely fish-themed set of guys. Oh, there's some flash on there that I probably should have taken off. Ugh. That's what happens when you don't clean your models ever. It's fine. But so they're all gonna be a little bit fishy somehow in some way. Obviously he has a fish shield, so that that really communicates that well. It's gonna be interesting to see how much of the candy theme I can manage to impart while still looking Mordheimy. So that's our goal. And we'll see how well we do at that. Trying to make sure that stuff is on camera. But I suck at painting actually on the camera with stuff in focus. So we'll see how well I do. It's not the most ergonomic painting setup to kind of crouch to make sure you're painting and hope that the camera is on focus. And the camera is almost never in focus because I stream from my phone camera. I don't have a separate one. I should consider getting. I do consider getting one all the time, but then I just end up investing in other hobby stuff, like making Snack 28 miniatures, which is just way more fun than buying a camera. Doesn't make for the best stream setup though, so sorry. The GW pot with its delicious paint ring. Yeah, that's damn true. I'm also terrible for remembering to close fully the GW paint pots, and I've certainly had um paints just dry out on me that were expensive, and I'm sad about it. You can't really get it back, you know? This is a gross color, so we're probably headed in the right direction. I think it'll be really fun if we kind of paint all sorts to look like a fish. Like we could give him like kind of a blue teal skin tone and paint little like scale looking details on him. Just because I've never tried that before. And I've painted quite a few of him. But there's always new stuff to try. And that's very exciting. We'll have to consider where we use the red as well, because I think that'll be our big, like, accent color. Obviously that fish is gonna be red, like a Swedish fish. Because that's too good. And then the little cherries should probably be red too. But it'll be like this weird, desaturated kind of red. So that leaves us with color choices for the pants. Let's see what happens when we mix this teal and this red together. Oh, that's a horrible color. I don't like that one. And if I lighten it up, it gets gray. I'm gonna learn to work with a lot of grays today. That is not a fun color, but it's just a base layer. And we don't know where it's gonna go. He looks depressed. I won't lie to you. This is by far the most depressing color palette I've subjected the boy to. But that's okay. We'll see where it goes. I've forgotten the art of painting and reading chat at the same time. It seems I can paint and yap at the same time, but I forget to pay attention to you guys, and I'm sorry about that. Oh, it's frozen? Damn. Okay. Let's hang on. Give me a second here. Let me know if that fixed it. I don't think that it did. Yeah, it definitely didn't. Okay. Let's try and stop that. Stop that. that. Finding it again. Thanks for your patience. Sorry for the technical difficulties. That should theoretically fix it, but I'm not seeing it theoretically fixed. Try closing it all together. There we go. Sorry about that. Now you can see the gross grays that I'm painting in person. Paint pots do have their problems. Yeah, you definitely got that right. Hi, Anno. It's good to have you. I was thinking about you the other day. Anno has been a long time viewer of these streams and seems to watch a lot of streams. But I was looking at all those like channel point redemptions that happen on people's streams, and I remember the one time you used one of your artists that you follow. You cashed in some of your points with them to get art of my little mascot guy, and that made me so happy. I still have that art saved on my desktop. It's one of it's one of the nicest little surprises that has come out of streaming. So thank you, and thank you for being here again. It's really always nice to see you. Everything is not broken and fucked when you come to the stream. Don't say that. No, everything is professionally run. It's in focus. It looks good. I never make a mistake. That's the energy that we need to go with. Don't give me this everything is broken bullshit. I don't want that. No. No, no, no. That's not what we're aiming for. This is professionally fucking produced. There's a whole crew standing behind me. There's a separate guy on camera making sure that everything gets filmed. It's definitely not me and my poor understanding of technology desperately trying to make sure shit shows up on camera. That would be silly. That would be nonsense. I am trying to stream more often though. I wanted to get back into that this year. I'm also frankly ramping up stuff with Snack 28. I'm making a lot of concept art. I've written some rules. I need to write more rules and more lore. And get stuff ready for the expansion. That's hopefully, gonna come out in March. Um, so yeah, if there's new people here, and there might be, hello. It's good to meet you all. Snack 28 is my skirmish game that I made about candy people fighting each other and maybe doing a bit of light cannibalism for funsies. Um, I made a game because I wanted all of my candy miniatures to be in a setting where they didn't stand out and everybody's like grim dark stuff would actually be out of place. But I didn't want to like cheap out quote unquote on the violence. I don't mind that. So it's still bloodthirsty. It's just also cute. Cuz that's really I guess the niche that I found. Like if there was a perfect game for me, it would be a combination of Animal Crossing and Bloodborne, and it would compromise on neither cuteness nor horror. Do I know how that would be achieved? No, I don't. I don't know if you could do Eldritch Animal Crossing and make it horrifying enough to be taken seriously. But if they did, I would lose my shit and it would be all that I talked about. So, they should really consider that. I should post a link to that game in case you want to check it out. Unfortunately, um it's not Bloodborne and Animal Crossing perfectly fused. It's just my little tabletop game. I'm working on making an expansion for it and getting new minis and stuff like that. Um, but if you want to check it out, it's pretty cool. I worked really hard on it. It's still probably one of the things that I am most proud of. Um, okay, hang on. I've finished putting down a color. Let me catch up on chat. Let me catch up on chat. I wish I had industrial light and magic working for me. That would be sick. Oh, nice. Yeah. Moving will definitely upset a stream routine. If she comes back, I hope you get to watch more of her streams. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to lighten up this teal a bit so that we have like somewhere that we can shade to and see if we like this as the actual kind of fish adjacent skin tone. Oh, I think we need to maybe dull that down somehow because I think it might be too vibrant. Maybe adding just a tiny bit of brown in there. I want it desaturated. Because that's unfortunately too close to looking like a beautiful blue raspberry something or other. Yeah, I think this is better. It probably doesn't show the saturation difference super well on stream. So you guys are just going to have to trust and believe me that there's a difference. But this I like. This I can get behind. When thinking of color palettes for this, obviously I did consider the Zorn palette because we talked about that at the top of the stream. But I also just thought about um like indie horror games that I like or smaller horror games that I like and the palettes that they use. So I was thinking of stuff like Little Nightmares and the Midnight Walk. They have a lot of grays and blues and like a lot of just desaturated stuff. So usually my work is very, very saturated, very bright colors. Um, but trying something new is fun and interesting, and we're gonna learn a lot together. And I'm not gonna use every paint in my arsenal, and that's also cool. Yeah, I think that will work. That looks very like fish-ish. Fish-ish. To me. Okay, I like that. Let's see what we're gonna do next. We need like a rope color, and we need to decide what we're doing with these gloves. Because we know that fish is gonna be red. So we can picture, well, if you have the ability to picture stuff, you can picture it in your mind. I've found out in just based on the people I spend my time with, that not everybody can picture stuff in their mind. Some people can't see the mind pictures. I definitely can. Um, I don't know what kind of color I'm going for here. They all just turned gross. You add more color to it and it becomes a new level of gross. Oh no. They're they're all just nasty. Oh dear. I was trying to go for like maybe like a rope or a string color. Trying to get something to resemble like a lighter brown or a yellowy brown, but we're not we're not getting there very well. I don't want it to be too red, but that looks like the best that we can do. Okay. Sure. Why not? Yeah, yeah, it was once with the cats and once with the big banana split night, which was so cool. I would have panicked if I were an artist on stream and you asked me to draw a big mech thing. Cuz I'm not good at drawing that sort of stuff. But she did a fantastic job. So, yeah, that was really cool. Okay, this looks good in context. It looks shit on the palette. It looks fine in context. I hate that we're discovering. Actually, I don't. That's a lie. We should be excited to learn stuff. We should be excited when we learn a new fun fact that's cool and interesting. Stuff on the palette is going to look different than when we actually get it in the context of the model. And that's something that I need to keep in mind, which will be really hard for me. Cuz that was pretty good. He looks like he could have found that bit of rope anywhere. Anywhere on the ocean. I think if maybe we mix a little more red in, we can just change the hue a bit and then do his little gloves. And they will look like leather. And they will beautifully highlight the places where I didn't clean up the flash very well. But no one's gonna call that out or pay attention to it or comment on the fact that he is maybe missing a thumb because I didn't kit bash this very well. But all of that part is gonna be hidden by a beautiful banner that I will maybe try and do on stream. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing me make a paper banner. Um, because it would be a lot more illustration and a lot less painting. Um, but like that's gonna hang down and cover that, so you're not even gonna see that, so nobody cares that it's bad. It does look like terracotta now, though. It looks like he has a hand made out of clay, which is not what I want, so we're gonna have to change that somehow. I guess we could go gray. I'm discovering that most roads are gonna lead to a grayish color. That's too similar to his armor. What can we do? What can we do? We can add some white. We're thinking out loud. Okay. That's probably different enough. That's fine. It's still gross. But it's not like Nurgle levels of gross. It's just not a color that you would want to like paint your walls. It looks like a color that when you go to like Home Depot or whatever and they have like returned cans of paint that are just colors that were mixed up by other people that didn't like them or return them for whatever reason and they're on a severe discount. That's this kind of gray beige color. I should probably be using a wet palette for this because most of my colors are drying out pretty quickly because I'm not mixing up enough of them. But I'm not going to do that for the simple fact of I don't want to get up and do that. I'm already locked in. We've started. I think we can still make like the plate maybe like a whitish color or an off-white, and then the fish should really stand out when we add the red. Theoretically. Thumbs are overrated, also battle damage. The returned vomit burgundy gray. Yeah, that's really what it is. Let me show you. See if I can get a in focus. There we go. This is what we're working with so far. That's not so bad. We're slapping down some base coats. We're figuring it out as we go. We will add stripes to his little pants. We haven't used this, like, pure teal color. So maybe we'll use that for his little belt. Because that's a nice, bright color. And I won't fully deny myself access to nice, bright colors. That would be cruel to me. Some of these are, I think most of these are Pro Acryl. I've used Pro Acryl Jades a lot before. It's a color that I like a lot. I think it's actually the one that I used on a lot of the Snack 28 terrain. To do all of the, like, wood grain. I think a lot of people use craft paint for their terrain because it's cheaper and that's super valid. But I didn't want to go out and buy craft paint just because it was cheaper at the time, so I just used whatever I had lying around. Which means that a lot of my terrain was painted with really nice paints. It does make it easier if I need to paint anything new. I know what colors to buy. I'm looking forward to Adepticon because I haven't really made any hobby purchases in a while because I've kind of been I've been obsessed with quilting lately. I'm just making quilts. I don't know what it is about it. It's very soothing. But that's been kind of where all my hobby money's gone. So I'll pick up a couple new things at Adepticon this year. And feel good about it because I haven't bought anything in a little while. I am worried about this model and how he's gonna paint up looking like candy but also sludge. But that's a problem for future me. Future me will figure that out. And if I hate it, I can always repaint it. Like we'll do this one as a test. And if I can't stand the horrors that I've created, I'll paint new horrors over top of them. Oh, just that's actually kind of a fun color. Like a very light blue. Yeah, that's a pretty... We've made a pretty color. We've made the first pretty color that we've made by mixing. And of course it's a fucking pastel, because I am myself, if nothing else. He's got the blue plate special going. I think I'll also try and paint his little pant stripes this color. Hopefully that paint is dry, and hopefully I have the attention and focus to do that well, because they are tiny little baby details. I have painted this model about 600 times. That's not true. I've painted this model quite a few times. 600's pushing it. Snack 28 quilt? Yeah, I'm working on it. Alright, get you some sleep. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a nice evening and get a lot of rest. Art's probably right. You do probably need to sleep. I'm not quite in the rocking chair with glasses era yet, but I did turn 30 last year, so we're getting there. You never know. You never know when it's gonna devolve into just rocking chair and conspiracy theory hours. Hopefully not ever. I say that, but I don't think I believe in any conspiracy theories. I don't have that on my 2026 mood board to start believing in conspiracy theories. Maybe the closest I get to that is just continuing to believe that animes that I want to get a season 2 will get a season 2. I'd say that's the closest I get to, like, you have no proof that this is gonna happen, but you do believe it anyway. I'm gonna rock that chair. I hope so. I hope so. It'll be nice to one day be retired and just be able to chill out and do whatever I want. But I'm also not gonna wait to do cool stuff until I'm retired. I really, really liked traveling. I got to go to Ireland, and I am hopefully gonna get to go to the UK this year. I want to see Warhammer World. I want to see friends who live abroad. I want to try and find all of the little like Moomin cafes and Moomin shops and stuff like that that I can, and go to some of them. And I want to see probably like museums and things like that. We'll see what happens on my international adventures, but that's definitely one thing where I'm not trying to wait around. I'm trying to make that happen as as soon as and as often as I can. And fortunately, despite recent threats to my finances in the form of unexpected vet bills, A, Achilles is doing great, and B, between selling some models that I didn't need anymore and selling the STL file of the new Snack 28 miniature, was able to raise all of the money that I needed to pay for vet bills. So that was great. Everybody who donated or just purchased the model because they like it, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Um, you helped me out of a bind, and you helped a really fantastic little guy feel better. Achilles is such a lovely little cat, such a ball of energy. He's only got one eye. I adopted him that way. I wanted a scrungly, weird cat, and I certainly got one. He loves stealing hair ties. That's like his favorite activity lately. And pens. If you leave a pen sitting out on the coffee table, he will take it for his hoard, and I don't know where he puts them. But they go somewhere. The sky is made up and these damn kids Warhammer wrong. Yeah. I watched the Warhammer previews, and frankly, I mean, it's cool that we got female custodians, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to be like, they sucked because of that. They sucked for me because they were just literally all humans and no creatures. And I know that, like, technically, like, an elf is an elf and not a human, but that's not a guy. That's not, like, a creature. I want, I want a scrungle. I want a weird little guy. Um, but my wallet's safe, I guess. You gave me elves and some different space marines and what's the fucking Warhammer name for the skeleton army? So they don't have to call them a skeleton army. Not Tomb Kings, the other one, the Age of Sigmar one. Someone knows. Someone's gonna put it in the chat so I don't have to Google it. Or I'm gonna remember. I'm not counting on my memory. These stripes are not painted well, but again, that's okay. I'll definitely put like a gross wash over everything because I think that's also a component of Mordheim is to add some washes to stuff. And I have a couple of brown washes and they might do well. We'll see what happens. I'm not convinced on this color scheme, by the way. I'm still skeptical. I'm not sure if this is the way that I want to go, but I'm going to finish painting up this model. We're going to do a proper test and see how we feel. It's not the worst thing I've ever painted. I can tell you that for a fact. I just don't know if I like it enough to commit to doing a whole squad this way. Which is kind of the thing that I have to be willing to commit to doing to finish this this project. But experiments are necessary and valid. And they're a part of the process. And I wish that they worked out well every time. And sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. But I'm at the painting desk again. And that's good. That in and of itself is progress today. Asiago bone repeats. Okay, I remember now that they're Osriarch Bone Reapers, but Asiago Bone Reapies is pretty good. I have some of those in a plastic baggie that a friend gave me, or I bought off a friend, or I traded for something with. I can't remember the actual situation. But I was gonna paint them in like a McDonald's red and yellow kind of color scheme. Because I thought their seesaw thing that they have kind of looks like a McDonald's play place for them to play on. And then I just straight up did not do that project. Still have them. Still could do that project. But I haven't. Okay, you know what? I painted the eyes. I painted his little loop-de-loop ears. This is giving something. Let's try adding the red and see how it goes. I think we might also need to add that, like, minty green onto the little dots on his armor. Wow, Fiverr advocating for more use of a pastel color. We've never seen this happen before. We've never seen it. It's really nice and like rainy outside today, and that's just making my hobby room feel super cozy, even though there's a big mess of fabric on my big hobby table right off to the side that I'm making sure I don't look at because it is very disorganized, and uh I should put it to rights, and I probably will not right now for a little while. That's good, Josh. That means that your cat likes the cat tree. Also, pro tip, if you're building a cat tree, build it in a separate room from your cats. That's what I always have to do. Because I have boys who are impatient and they will tear apart a cat tree before it goes up. So that's my advice for you. If you have a separate room, or can even just build it in your bathroom or something, that's probably the best way to get that done with no cat interference. It's kind of giving one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish right now. We're in a Dr. Seuss zone. And I don't know if I hate it. I could be okay with being in a Dr. Seuss zone. It's definitely different from what we usually do here, but different isn't always bad. And it does still look cool. I kind of like this. I don't know how well it will translate to an entire army. But they have a distinctive, for lack of a better term, they have a distinctive flavor to them. Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of digging it now. I like this. Adding the reds, really tying it all together and making those gross colors just sort of look like they're supposed to be there. They don't stand out as super gross or super obnoxious or anything. It doesn't look like a Nurgle, in other words, which is kind of what I feared might happen. Because we are going Cult of the Possessed, not Carnival of Chaos or whatever it is. Although I do feel like all of my stuff inevitably looks a bit circusy. I can't resist painting stripes and shit like that all over everything. To the point where they are sculpted into my miniature. 28. I squeaky ice cream. Thank you. More Bloodborne. What do I think pale blood is? Bro, that's a great question. Um, so like if we're getting into Bloodborne theories, like they're clearly trying to make some sort of horrible god human baby thing with Murgo, right? Like that's what that is, and that's what with the whole like Yarnum Queen presumably is like they're trying to fuse some DNA there. They're trying to do some weird shit that they don't understand. Because I don't know why they're like, oh hey, we discovered eldritch beings. Clearly, what we need to do now is find a human woman and make sure that she has the baby of this eldritch horror. Like that's kind of where things seem to indicate. Um with dubious correctness to that, sure, because everything's like vague as fuck in Bloodborne. Um, but I would assume that pale blood is gotta be like some form of god eldritch being blood. And then you theoretically, spoiler warning for Bloodborne, you theoretically like transcend the hunt by becoming the little slug baby. So I have to assume that that's like connected. Fiverr was born to circus but forced to adult. Yeah, that's damn true. That's damn true. I don't want to be out here doing stuff. I don't want to be going to a 9 to 5. I do want to be talking to a clown. I do want to walk by some acrobats. I do want to poorly learn to juggle. I've tried to learn to juggle before and the results are awful. Can't do it. Don't have much in the way of coordination, unfortunately. I do want to give strange fortunes to passers-by. I do want to travel in a little wagon with all of my worldly possessions and some animal companions. Like a cat, not like like a lion or something that shouldn't be caged up for a zoo. I'm glad that that seems to be one of the things that in the modern era we're seeing a lot less of like animals in circuses, and that's pretty dope. Um cuz like when I went to the circus as a child, you could like touch an elephant as one of the things that you could do. And that's probably not good for the elephant. Do I remember it with wonder and nostalgia? Of course I do. There's nothing wrong with having childhood memories that are full of wonder and nostalgia. But I also think that maybe we've come far enough as a society to know that elephant probably don't want to be doing that every day of him life. So he shouldn't have to. And I don't know if laws changed. Probably they did, because it seems like that's the way to get people to stop doing shit that's dubious is to make it illegal and then actually follow up with that. I would assume. I don't know, and I'm gonna stop talking about shit I don't know about. But I am happy that there's less animal cruelty in circuses nowadays. I will continue to draw little circus guys as animals for Snack 28, though, because clearly that's a fantasy world and not the real. And I think people can differentiate that. But the lions are three little guys. That's super fair on them. What I would recommend doing in order to form Bloodborne theories is to only play it for like 8 straight hours one time in college, and then think about it every day for the next week, and then start writing what ends up becoming about 700,000 words of Bloodborne fan fiction. I'm speaking from personal experience. That's a great way to experience Bloodborne. That's what I did. And then I did eventually, continue to borrow my roommate's PlayStation and beat Bloodborne, and it took a really long time, and I was very bad at it. But I did it in the end. Now I can beat Bloodborne. That's not a problem. We can do that. If I knew how to like make my voice go and also be on the PlayStation with that casting, I'd love to do some gaming streams. But I'm big stupid and I don't know how to do that. I think maybe we should actually make this metal could be copper. We could do a copper metal. But I think it also looks good as blue. So maybe we'll have some blue and then we'll mix in some copper and see how that goes. And I will remember to choose a crappier brush when I get the copper. And I know that kind of invalidates our 4-color palette thing, but I'm not here to do non-metallic metals. And if anyone has a problem with that, sue me. Sue me right now. You will hear from the lawyer that I don't have. Let's try Garner Alchemy SC89. I don't know what color this is gonna be. Yeah, apparently I'm already getting sued for elephant domestic battery, so you might as well just add, didn't actually do a 3-color, or a 4-color. Ooh. That came out through the side of the tube. I'm not gonna question that. I'm gonna put that away. It'll probably be fine. That's a decent brush. Where's all my shitty brushes gone? Yeah, I have some real shitty ones. Oh yeah, that's fun. And then what we're gonna do after we throw this copper on here, I think, is we're gonna put a wash over this whole thing before we think about highlighting. Cause that's just the way that you do it. As far as I know. And I'm trying to leave just a little bit of the blue behind so it looks like oxidized, I think is the word. And you have that verdigris and stuff. I think I could stand to have a little bit more of the blue kind of dappled in there. That's too much. That's far too much. There. Something like that. You're barely gonna see it again because there will be a banner there. All right, I think this might be base coats that we got done. We're gonna put a wash on there. I want to focus this, but my fucking camera thing is on advertisements, so there we go. Does he look good? Do we like him? Do we like him? I think we like him. I think we like him as a fish. He's fine. I'll post better photos on Instagram, obviously. But we'll throw a wash on him. I think for now we try. We try something new. Okay, washes. Let's see what we've got. See if I've put them all in the drawer where they go, or if I've scattered them to the winds. We have black panel liner. And yes, you can absolutely use panel liner as a wash if you're me. I know I have more than just black panel liner. Yeah. What else have we got? We've got brown panel liner. Dark brown panel liner. Drakenhof Nightshade. That's a wash. No, that's a large bottle. That's not a wash. That's not a wash. What is this? Reichland Flesh Shade. I don't think I have anything in the way of Nuln Oil or Seraphim Sepia. Yeah, it looks like I'm out of my typical washes. In terms of those, which is what I've used in the past. But we have choices. What do we think? What do we think? I'm leaning towards maybe the Reichland Flesh Shade. I think if we do like a blue wash, it's just gonna go purple and it's gonna look shitty. And I think black is gonna be too intense. I think we need something with browns in it, which leaves either the panel liners or Reichland Flesh Shade. And I think we're gonna go with this one. I was gonna put it up to a poll, but then I had a brain and I used it and I made a decision on my own. Which is cool and fun and valid to do. Okay. We're getting in there. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna add some grime. It's gonna be that thing that makes it look like it belongs in Mordheim, truly. The way the wash wants to stain, it makes it look like he's crying. Which I'm gonna have to, like, wick away that excess. But it is very funny. Don't cry, little man. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna survive Mordheim, probably. You're gonna do great at the tournament. We're gonna trick you out. You're gonna have all the best abilities. I'm gonna actually do the math to figure out what you need. You're gonna be the greatest little possessed warrior that anyone ever saw. They're all gonna be jealous of you. They're gonna be like, damn, I don't want to mess with this boy. Or maybe I do want to mess with this boy, but in like a, I want to be friends with him kind of way. And we go to the grocery store and we just try all the, or the convenience store, and we just put all the slushy flavors together in one cup. That's the kind of nonsense they're going to want to get up to with this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Don't cry, buddy. It's okay. I'll just slap some wash on the metallics because frankly, why not? It's sort of like color correcting where it just makes all the color, it forces all the colors to work together. And I love that. Yeah. That looks pretty good. Okay. We've got our color palette. We've got our idea. It works. We're definitely gonna have to go back in and add highlights and some like fish scale details and stuff like that. But we've got something we can use. And we did it in what, an hour and 4 minutes? That's not bad. Fiverr on the stream. Yeah, hi Cameron. I'm on the stream. I'm painting stuff for Mordheim. I'm thinking about Snack 28. in the back of my mind. I'm so excited. I'm gonna jump into painting this next model so I can just keep yapping and talking because I've not quite reached 2 hours in the stream, which is what I'm searching for. You're here briefly because you gotta play Necromunda? Hell yeah. What gang are you playing? Do you have the bugs? Do you have the Necromunda bugs? Thank you. Marchani? Marchani? I'm going with Marchani. If that's wrong with the pronunciation, I apologize. I'm pleased with how those colors turned out. Um and I'm hopeful that the rest of these fish weirdos will continue to have charming little color palettes. Happy little colors. I wish I had more stuff that was actually fish themed because the more I look at this guy, the less I'm happy that he's in the army because he doesn't have anything fishy going on. He might end up getting nixed simply for the fact that he does not have a fish element. I should really have built my Mordheim list before I started painting, but again, who cares? I'll do this in whatever order I feel like. The police will not come after me. And if I built a bad Mordheim list, that's just Mordheim as far as I'm aware. I'm not gonna do well. I'm there to have fun. Although if I do win, that's fucking funny as shit. Because I do have some insane luck with dice rolls sometimes. It's balanced out by how shit I am at math and anything numbers related. You do like the fish night a lot? Hell yeah. You don't have any bugs yet. I literally have so many bugs, bro. You can borrow my bugs anytime. If you want the bugs, I got the bugs. But not all of the bugs. I don't have like the new like dune worm looking bug. I just have like the tall guys riding the bugs. I painted them vaguely McDonald's themed. I will not become the American Mordheim champion. That would be insane. That would be really crazy. I don't think I want to be the champion of anything. I, to be honest with you, not even confident that I would be the Snack 28 champion, and I made the game. I don't I'm not that good at playing games. I'll do it. I like a game on occasion, but I'm really bad at consistency and figuring out strategies most of the time. Um, I like painting little guys, but once I run out of little guys to paint, my enthusiasm for playing the game drops off severely. Um, I did play some Magic the Gathering for a while, which has no little guys that you have to paint, but sometimes little guys on the cards. But it did dawn on me that I really just kind of liked looking at the art much more than I ever did playing the game. So I don't play anymore. But yeah, honestly, I just want to make art and little guys. But it's easier to make art and little guys if you have a game that they go with. And I am proud of Snack 28. It is a good game. I hope I everyone who's played it has a good time and seems to think it's designed pretty well. Because I kept it simple and tried to eliminate math everywhere possible. it has, I promise you, the minimum amount of math that I could possibly get in that game. Your enemies, my enemies can't predict my strategies if I don't have strategies. That's damn true. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just making shit up as I go. I think I'm completely out of brown. I think it might have all dried up. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, let's get some more brown. I just think since the majority of this is a fish, we do have to paint it with the red fish theme. I feel like all of the fish elements should be red. His face is gonna be like bone because I think that's scary. But yeah, we're trying. Gonna paint his gross little feet and his weird little body. And that's said with great affection, by the way. I love all my little guys. They don't all have names yet, but they will by the time that it is Mordheim time. I think what this model is a guy wearing a fish as a suit. I thought at first that it was like a fish with legs and a guy riding it, but the guy riding it doesn't have legs of his own, which leads me to believe that this is a guy with chicken feet who's wearing a fish um to hide to be modest, you know? And that's funny. I think that's also very very Mordheim coded to be wearing a fish. So, I'm gonna be sure that I paint him appropriately, making sure that his skin tone and his leggies are the same color. Although I might add little stripes to the leggies, we'll see. That'll all be in like the highlighting stage of the process. So we won't get to that today. This foot doesn't appear to have any toes. Um, I'm not really sure what's going on there, and I will cover that in flock or something else. Don't super know how I'm gonna base these yet, just have theories. And I guess since they are about Mordheim, they are technically game theories. Yeah, it's like a cowboy costume, but instead of the horse, it's a fish. Exactly. I am doing math on my phone. There's no way I'm not doing math on my phone if I gotta do math. I'm figuring it out with the calculator app. All of my teachers when I was very bad at math were like, "Well, you're not always going to have a calculator on you." And now we all have calculators on our phones, which is very funny to me. I was like, "Well, turns out we all do literally have calculators all the time." So problem freaking solved. Except I am still very bad at math. I need the calculator for it all the time. You still unfortunately have to tell the calculator what you need calculated. Yeah, this is funny as fuck. Little guy. I mean, these two, they do look like they belong on the same team. And that's exciting. And even with just the wash, it looks good. So if we get all of these guys to a state where they're base coated and washed, they're still gonna look fine for the day of, which isn't until February something. So we have time. I think we still have more than a month. But not by much. I wanted to stream on a weekday as well, but I tend to get tired after job, so it hasn't happened. I might have time on Monday to do a stream since I don't have work that day, and we can get some more painting done together if you guys want. I think that might be nice. I don't know what your schedules look like. It probably wouldn't be this early. It would probably be later in the day. Because I have set aside time to play Animal Crossing with one of my friends tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday. Monday is the day that we decided on. And I have a sense of time and can use it appropriately. But yeah, that would be something that we could do. If you guys feel like checking out a Monday stream. I think it would be nice. I think we could do it. And I think what we should do is we should figure out how to paint up this this pineapple guy together. Who we gave a crab claw hand to. This guy. Cuz the more I'm seeing of him alongside like this model, I don't know how much transparency we need to preserve. Cuz he might just look pretty freaking decent with all of the colors that we've decided. So maybe I'll just try and mask off like his little skirt and his little flame and maybe his horns. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the paint that's currently applied to him is applied directly. So we might just try that instead of masking stuff off. Then we can kind of wash off any mistakes that we make. And that's probably not the best way to paint a miniature. In fact, I can assure you that that's not the best way to paint a miniature. But it might be the way that we paint that one. We'll see. It's a challenge I've not really come up against. And that's kind of exciting. Okay. So he does have like this weird kind of like collar thing, but it also doesn't have a defined edge here to let me know what part of that is his back and what part of that is still the like papery bag type thing. Maybe it's only in the front. Cuz it doesn't seem like it's cast back here. Yeah. It's more of like a bib than an all the way around clown collar sort of situation. So we'll run with that. We can work with that. We can make that work. It is tricky to paint the horse and the rider, so to speak, at the same time. That's when they're all stuck together, it's a little bit tricky. With the models that I've been working on designing for Stack 28, I'm trying to make sure that all of the riders and all of the horses, or, well, none of them are actually horses, they're all mounts of one kind or another, because I didn't want to do any horses, because I think there's enough horse models in this world. I don't think I need to make my own unique take on a horse. I'm not very good at drawing horses, and if anyone wanted a horse for kit bashing, there's probably like 3,000 options that they could go with. What was I saying? Oh, but I tried to make sure that all of the riders and horses were separate, so you could swap them out if you want a different rider on a different mount, but also that they're easier to paint. Cause I've watched a lot of Goobertown Brent's videos, and that's one of the things he always points out. He's like, advice for anyone making miniatures: make sure that the rider and the horse are separate because it's easier for painting. And that's damn true. I try and think about shit. I'm not the cleverest person, but I can listen to what others have to say and hopefully take their advice to heart. Speaking of listening to what others have to say, I once again have to remind myself that I need to read chat. I'll do that after I paint this horrifying fish skull, which is going to be tinted like a different kind of more bone color when we put the wash on, so that'll work out. I do not have any of the amiibos to get any of the Zelda stuff in Animal Crossing, unfortunately. I I'm not a huge Zelda fan in the fact that I've never played a Zelda game, any of them before. So I don't actually know what all the hype is. I'm sure that it's like a great game franchise. Don't get me wrong. It's clearly beloved. It's just not one I've ever played. Oh, I think maybe this green is too bright to put here. I think that might end up having to be brown. But I'm gonna base coat the whole thing anyway. Yeah, I definitely think that's a little too vibrant. So we'll change that. We can maybe make his eye that color, though. I assume this is an eye. I don't really know. It's at least eye adjacent. You have some knockoff amiibo cards because you ain't paying Nintendo prices. That's super fair. I had some amiibo cards, but when I moved ages ago, I lost them. I just didn't pack them carefully, and I don't know where they ended up, which is unfortunate. I'd like to have some of the Animal Crossing amiibo cards, but that's just not a priority right now. That's not in the cards. Quite literally. I am painting in the most destructive way, it seems, where I just don't care about preserving the colors to come back to. We're just going for it. I think all of the shields are gonna be like this robin's egg blue color. I think this is the only, yeah, this is the only other guy with a shield, so this is the only other one I have to worry about. But I'll try and find like a detail that um I can do for everyone where it's a robin's egg blue and a red iconography so that they kind of fit together more. This guy's got a lot of red just or the fish, so I don't think I want to add any more, but I might make his weird little spiked dog collar blue as well, because I think that'll look good. And I'll make the spikes copper, the same kind of oxidized copper we're going with for the metal. And I'll paint his actual hood kind of like a tan. If we can get a tan, if we can make a tan happen, we'll paint it tan. Trying to remember to stay hydrated is also hard when I'm yapping, so thanks for your patience with that. I have my cup that I got from a reseller. It is the 2024, I think, Chainsaw Man Universal Studios cup. I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan, so this was cool. And it keeps drinks really cold. And now I realize I have it in my painting room, and I'm vaguely worried about getting paint on it. But it's metal, so it should be easy to get any paint that got on it off. Okay. I think this is looking good. We'll dot his little eye. So that he can be cute. You can't kill stuff if you're not cute. At least that's what I've found. The models that do the best damage for me are usually the cute ones. Then again, I mostly play games at this point where I've designed all the models to be cute. So that might be like a correlation, causation thing, whatever that thing is. You know the thing. The thing that I'm saying really well, the thing that I'm articulating, that's the thing. It's amazing how when you spend like an hour and a half yapping, you lose your ability to form coherent thoughts and words. It's very silly, but I notice it happening. Any y'all been watching that Korean cooking competition show, Culinary Class Wars, on Netflix? I just finished the second season of that. I liked it pretty good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, and maybe that's just like a lack of novelty aspect to it, because I hadn't, obviously, with season one, you wouldn't have any idea what was gonna be coming. But I thought it was fun. Both seasons I thought were fun. And I've heard rumor that they're making a season 3, which seems to be the way of most cooking shows, where if it does well, they will make 10,000 seasons of it. And that's great. Oh, also the new Game of Thrones show is premiering tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 18th? Yeah. Hi, Goober. Hey, it's good to see you. How's it going? What you up to? I'm painting some Mordheim miniatures. not official Mordheim miniatures, just working on the ones that we kit bashed last stream. Or painting them up this stream. And they're turning out pretty interesting. It's I'm trying to, you know, to lean into Mordheim, but not fully lose my whimsy. So I was telling chat that I've been watching a lot of Jamie Dagger's Twitch streams, and the ones that I've been catching were like the limited color palette ones, where it's just like 4 colors, and then somehow at the end the model is beautiful and doesn't, you would never guess that only 4 colors had been used at all. So I'm trying to work with a limited color palette. Jamie Daggers I am not. I am getting a lot of grays. We're ending up with a lot of time in the gray zone. But that is also okay. I've realized that putting a wash on things really brings them together and gets you out of just the gray zone. And I'm learning to have some fun with it and see what happens. Gray will never be my favorite color though. Don't worry. This is something, this is a fad that will pass when I've finished this little squad. And then we'll return to our regularly scheduled, brightly colored nonsense. I have brightly colored nonsense that I very much wish to return to. Ooh, lots of intergalactic hero stuff to write. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I need to work on some Snack 28 lore this weekend. Get that written up. My friend Mab has been a tremendous help with Snack 28 recently because they have been really enjoying doing line art, which is the part of art that I hate most in this world. I do not ever want to do it. I don't like it. It isn't fun for me. And I put it off as much as possible. But I wanted to make this Snack 28 fabric for quilting. And so I asked, because I really love how Mab does line art, I asked if at some point they might give line arting one of my drawings a shot. Turns out they really had a lot of fun with it and have continued to just line art things, which is lovely. More than I ever could have expected or asked for. And now I have some beautiful Snack 28 art with clean, nice lines. That's gonna look great in the expansion. And we have so much of it. A couple people that I've shown it to have asked for coloring page versions for either themselves or their kiddos. So I think we're also gonna put some of that up as a option to download coloring pages, which really freaking takes me back to, and I know some of you are gonna guess this because I always talk about it, but yes, it does take me back to Neopets. All roads truly lead back to my Neopets nostalgia. Because I loved printing off and coloring or tracing Neopets coloring pages as a kid. Like when I was out of printer ink or whatever, I would just trace them off the screen. onto a piece of paper and then color them. But you had to, they were all like scattered throughout the different lands of Neopets, and I wasn't smart enough to know to bookmark links or to check other websites that just had them like fully uploaded. So it always felt cool when I was searching around and I found new ones. But making my own coloring pages had a lot of like that kind of happy nostalgia to it. It brought me back to Neopets. I got some nice alcohol markers for Christmas. Um just to like get back into stuff like coloring that is very cheap to do and um kind of like more on the relaxing side of things to try and help manage the, incredible anxiety that comes with being alive right now. Um Not in like a hey, this will cure your anxiety way, but just in like a here's something that I can do to try and relax. And that's been working decently. I've been having a nice time with it. Um yeah, I have a friend who's coming over tonight to play Townsfolk Tussle, which is an incredible game. I'm really excited to play some more of that. And she has a printer, so she is going to print me off some of the coloring pages that I designed. And then maybe we can color one together. I don't know if you guys want to watch me do a coloring page. If that would be really boring or if that would be really cool. But that's something that we could also do. 'Cause I'd have fun. And I'll be honest, chat, that's the priority here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're along for the ride. I want you to stick with me. I like what we have here. But if I'm not having fun, there's no point in this stream or chat existing. So I am having fun right now though. Don't mistake it. Don't get it twisted. Um but yeah, that's potentially something that we could do together. And you could color along at home, and then we could all show off our work together in a beautiful display of art and creativity and community and shit like that. So that's something that we could do. It is a little kindergarten class adjacent. I won't lie to you. I know. Uh, but consider that I like coloring, and most miniature painting is kind of just coloring with paint on a 3D model. It's not a million leagues away. It's similar. There's a twin resemblance to it. Maybe a family resemblance more than twins, but like there's something there. Oh no, I got some of the copper on his little sack head. Get off there. I saved it. I rescued it. I'm a hero. I'm a hero. I think I'm gonna put some. Just gonna lay that into the fish eyes so that they look dark and creepy. And more like a skull. I don't know if the fish is supposed to be like skeletal, but it definitely is giving skeletal to me. I think I'm just gonna do the same for its weird little mouth. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good for base coats. Throw a wash on there. Just gonna cover up that part that I didn't get super good the first time. If there's any other little areas that I care to fix. Exactly, Goober. Isn't coloring what I'm doing right now? Yes. I am coloring. Exactly. I don't know, man. Some people are weird. Sometimes people might be like, we would watch you color a miniature, but if you want to color a piece of paper, we're out. We revolt. I don't think that's true. I don't know that that's true, but it might be. I'm just waiting for this model to dry so that I can put a wash on it. Ugh. Ivor's weirder for assuming the worst. That's damn true. Sometimes, it's just your anxiety talking, and you have to look at it in the face and be like, what the fuck are you saying, bro? The wash has dried more on this one. It's looking really cool. I do really like it. He looks really gross, but in a fish way, not in a Nurgle way. Okay. Let's try it. Let's put a wash on this one, and hopefully it'll achieve the same effect. Yeah. Yeah, already that looks better. I've really gotten to a point with like a lot of my Snack 28 miniatures where I don't feel like I need to put a wash on them uh to make them look the way that I want. So many of the washes on my desk have just sat around unutilized. And then I'm kind of like, why do I have these? And then I do something like this, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember why I fucking have this. This actually works great. This works great if you're going for a certain thing. And I am just slopping it on, which people say not to do, but I don't care. I think for a kind of grimy Mordheim look, it makes sense to do it. It makes sense and it is good to do it. Yeah, this guy's just kind of a little freak. But he belongs in the army with the other little freaks. His little cloth bag and his little fish costume. He's ready. He's ready for Mordheim. He's ready for war. He's ready for whatever horrors he might see. He can hide inside the fish if they get too bad. Yeah. Yeah. This looks good. What the fuck, guys? We did it twice. We made two things that look good. It's not every day that you do that. Sometimes you make two things and they look terrible. And you're like, damn, I hate that I did this, but these two guys? These two men? These two little dudes? They're perfect. They're gonna look great in Mordheim on the tabletop. I think we've got something genuinely pretty special right here. Um I don't know if we have time to fully knock out a third one, but we could try. Could try. Why not? Why not? At worst, we'll have something base coated. That's literally the worst that could happen. We'll just go right along in the line. We've got this guy. I guess we can put the red on his little flag and maybe on his little tassel. And his hat can be that light blue. But I think we're gonna try and do like a little weird radish body. I don't know how the body flows into the pants. He does have this horrible gap, actually, so maybe we're gonna fill that with some product. And then we'll paint something else. Or we'll just fill the gap. Can't believe I'm actually gonna correct a mistake that I made. Can you believe that? I'm gonna use more fake whipped cream to do it, though. I'm not gonna use a proper gap filler. This clay stuff dries in the cap pretty egregiously, so I have to scrape it out with a sculpting tool so that I can actually pipe stuff into it. There we go. Yeah. And then see, it pops right out, and you're good. It is like one of my favorite little products that I have. Usually, you know, for candy stuff, but that's awful. That should not have happened. I was talking about how great this was, and then it did something that I had never seen it do ever before in its life. And I hated it. Gonna wash that off the base, or attempt to. We have a mild crisis on our hands. That, I guess this must have sat near my computer, and kind of heated up, which is not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be, like, not like that. What do I have in the way of, like, a paper towel? I don't have any paper towels right now. Do I have a piece of... Yep, I have a old paint-stained paper towel. There we go. That's what I get for trying to fix a bottle. To fill a gap. You know? I'm just cleaning this off screen. I'm sorry about that. Trying to get all the weird clay substance off of him. It's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to have happen. Sometimes it does happen, though. Okay, so we're not going to use that because it's melted due to the proximity of my computer heating up near it. So that's not going to work right now, which is unfortunate and very odd. I have not seen that happen before. Ugh. I don't know if I have another packet of this that hasn't been sitting near the computer. I'm checking for that now. Everyone please hold while I inspect my collection of stuff. Yep. Okay. Okay. We're gonna try that again. I'm gonna see. Okay, this one hasn't... Yeah, okay, this is gonna work. This one hasn't been heating up near the computer. So, pro tip, don't let it do that. There. Okay. So that's gonna happen like that. And then, like, you could use something nicer. I'm just using my fingers because I have them. Model's a little wet, so it's not perfect because I washed it off. But you see how that's more of like a actual shape when it's not just liquid. So there's that, and that'll fill up that gap pretty nicely. And that takes care of the gap that I didn't fix, even if I said it was going to. And then I'll just set him aside to dry. And we'll come back to him next time, and he'll be all good and ready to go. I got a little bit of that clay there. Clean that off. That goes back in the drawer. Okay, we definitely don't have time to do a third one now because we had to clean up. But that's fine. That's fine, and it's okay, and we'll live. And we're not mad about it. It happens. It's simply par for the course. Got your blood echoes back and immediately died again? Yeah, that's just, again, par for the course, really. That's just sort of how it goes. I can put some paint down on this little guy. Just gonna mix up a color. I don't really know what we're gonna get. Playing Bloodborne, you really just gotta let those blood echoes go sometimes. It sucks, but yeah, you can't win them all. Sometimes it's just it's just not the run. And you gotta go back and try again. Man, even with just a single color, this sculpt looks so fun. They're such weird little guys. Trying to make sure I get paint in all the little spots too. The tiny guy. Just a little guy. Honestly, maybe we could have painted him in 10 minutes. He's itty bitty. Just a baby. But I think I'd want to put more time and detail into him anyway. Maybe I can give him like red wings so that he ties in. Or a little red nose. Rudolph style. I might highlight the wings with red. Because these two colors look like they're gonna wet blend together kind of decently. So I can make his little ears and wings and stuff. Different, but still cohesive. Yeah, maybe the inner part. I was thinking that, or just sort of dry brushing some red on to catch like the raised bits. Because there's a nice little bit of texture there that I could probably get. Or the little spines on his back could be red. Because he has little spines. We'll have to think of a fun name for him. He's a funny little weirdo. Honestly, not too many details. It feels like just the right amount of details for a model this size. This isn't GW packed with belts and pouches and stuff. Because some of the the token models for Curse City were like this tiny, but they'd still have a trillion little details on them, and it made them difficult to paint. I have that whole box painted up, and I've still never played the game. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I've used the tiles for D&D before, and I've used some of the models for D&D before, but I haven't actually played the game. I think maybe I might try and go with like a white or off-white underbelly for him, but that might be as far as I get right now. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that's probably where we're gonna leave it. We got 2 models base coated and a third started. We gap filled something. We came up with this really interesting color palette, and I'm truly excited to see where it goes. I'll check back in with you guys soon. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to figure out how this will all turn out when these are all done. If you have any ideas for how to base them, I'd love to hear them. Because right now my plan is to just put flocking on them, but that might not end up being the most Mordheim, so maybe we'll do like a mud or a dirt or something. I don't know. But if you have a thought, let me know what it is. Anyway, that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.